Hello and welcome, foolish mortals. This is Emily.
What's my name? And Clayton. That's
Oh,
right.
my name.
Emily, just right before we started this, is like, hey, you remember what we're talking about? It's like, of course. And then I forget my line. We're your ghost hosts. And today, of course, Emily's set it up. We're talking about it.
It's time. It's
we've
time.
we've alluded to this for 2 weeks. It's time to talk about the Walt animatronic and the Walt show that has debuted at Disneyland. Today we're going to be talking mostly about all the backstory, the criticisms,
The lead up to its opening.
yes, all that. Not so much the actual thing itself, the show itself. That'll be next week. So Emily's like, I got
multi-part Walt episodes.
I got a text from Emily. This Walt episode, parentheses, episodes with an S, will be so good. Great. But let's, without further ado, get into it.
Wait, it's time to make it magical.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you're supposed to say.
Oh, I thought you were going to end right there.
No, and get into it. And then you're like, oh, yeah, it's time to.
And make it magical.
There we go. Well, we don't really have much mousekeeping. Life's pretty boring and
It's never boring.
busy.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's never boring. It's just extremely busy from time to time. This is one of those weeks. We don't really have anything else going on. We're preparing to go to Disneyland in a week.
That sounds like we have something going on.
I don't know. Week and a half, something like that from when this releases.
Yeah.
Week and a half. We'll be there for the Halloween run.
Park time.
Halloween run.
I'm more excited.
What are you talking about?
Sound more excited.
Okay. Top of the show plugs. If you are over on the YouTube side, if you could like, comment, subscribe, do all the thing. Oh, Emily had this call to action last week about getting away from a very specific, very nice number. And we got like five new subscribers.
Not nice number.
We got like 5 new subscribers. We were like up to 74 or something. So Emily was shouting out. Emily was very happy. We were both very happy. So thank you very much if you subscribe. Again, if you're on the YouTube side, if you could just like, comment, subscribe. If you want to support the show, head on over to Patreon. Any money we make over on the Patreon side basically comes back into the show. We did have some technical difficulties last week with a camera.
My joke is Clayton's trying to cut me out of the show.
That would be the wrong decision because I think viewership of
my audio was blurry or not blurry.
Your camera was blurry.
My camera, my singular camera, the one that's only on me, was blurry, and then my audio was weirdly off when it would just focus on me.
Yeah, so there's some issue with Emily's camera. It's randomly a few frames behind.
Cut me out of the situation. I see what's happening.
So whatever money I make on the Patreon side goes to keeping my sanity and figuring out how technical gear works because I don't have enough time for that in the normal week. But in any case, I think we should just get into it, right? Nothing else? Is there anything else?
No, let's just do it. We have we have a lot.
I'm wearing my Walt Park Hop tee, Walt and Sunglass Park Hop tee in commemoration of this week's episode. We have a code of Park Hop tees.
Magical Pod 20, all caps. I'm also wearing a Park Hop tees.
Yeah, like we're
the happiest place on earth.
It is. They're great shirts.
It is. Do you just say it is when I said the happiest place on earth?
It is the happiest place on earth. And I'm wearing the happiest t-shirt on earth. Walt and sunglasses.
You're the happiest human wearing it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So go check them out.
Go check them out. Again, our code MagicalPod20. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get into it. What would Walt do?
Mm-hmm.
What would Walt do?
I actually have a Walt quote this week. When we consider a new project, we really study it, not just the surface idea, but everything about it. And when we go into that new project, we believe in it all the way. We have confidence in our ability to do it right, and we work hard to do the best possible job. I think this is setting us up nicely for what we're talking about this week.
I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm little show note at the top of the show here. I got a talking to by Emily before we recorded this. Actually, a few days.
You sound mean.
Well, it's more like it's not mean. It's just you want a very specific energy for this particular episode. This episode is very important for Emily, or a set of episodes is very
Just
important.
me?
No, obviously it's important for both
Now I
of us.
sound mean because I am like currently directing the episode. Just me?
Obviously, it's
Don't you mean us?
important for both of us. But I got to talking to. She's like, okay, I'm going to need some real commentary here from you, not just yep or yeah
Well, no.
or none of this nonsense.
Not just for this one. I say this for all episodes because what you have to say matters. Don't just rely on me to try and voice it.
Ditto.
You just go, yep, I can't say it by myself. I'm like, well, we need to hear it from you too because you'll say it differently than I do.
I think my favorite word on the show is ditto.
I don't think you've really said that on the show, so I don't believe it is.
Oh, well, it can be today. The long rumored and highly controversial first ever Walt Disney animatronic was officially announced at last year's D23 in August of 2024. It was last year.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Time
Which
flies.
I like that turnaround time.
Good turnaround time. Emily was watching this. I remember she was watching this. We were on the couch. She was very hyped for this whole event. They actually had pretty big park announcements.
Mm-hmm, they sure did.
Emily was very, very hyped, let's just say. And for this one, she was in the boat of let's do it.
I'm all for it.
She was not on the controversial side.
Yes. But I will be fair in everything we talk about today. That's the whole point of this. I want to look at all arguments and try and discuss them. Bring them up in a way that's not super biased.
I do have a funny story that is related to this for this week. Would you like to hear it?
Do I?
Yes, I think you do.
Okay.
I was sitting in our living room on a phone call with someone at work. And I was like, this doesn't sound like a fun story.
Yeah, so far, I don't know.
It is, because
Okay.
Emily goes in the corner of my eye. I see her make this goofy looking face when she's looking at her phone. She comes racing over to me, and she's just like sitting there looking at me while I'm on the phone with someone else. And she didn't realize I was on the phone for a while until I said something. And then she's like, oh, are you on the phone? And she ran away. But what she was trying to show me was this Easter egg thing.
You might be kind of disappointed about this Easter
No.
egg. I think they're messing.
Why would they do that?
They did it, but they were alluding to something else.
Oh, that's so disappointing, Disney. Really? Oh, I'm not even now the memory's ruined. Ah, Disney. Okay, let's talk about good Disney stuff. Really? Ah,
Yeah, I
man.
didn't show it to you because you'd have just been mad.
That's so
Well, it's
cruel.
cool. It is cool what it was leading to. Did you ever watch like Imagine? Well, you didn't really watch the Disney Channel that much growing up.
No.
They had this thing, Imaginary Yet That, and there was this guy, Tom Morrow.
Yeah.
And he's like a robot guy, and
Yeah.
he'd like go behind the scenes in Imagineering and talk about all the projects.
Yeah.
So they were like, in the next video or reel they showed off, it was like supposed to be his name badge.
Yeah. Technically, you did it to me because you filled me with hope on that one.
No, Disney did.
Otherwise, I would have just been the crankerous old man of talking about Tomorrowland. But let's not talk about Tomorrowland. That's Emily. I can't believe you sidetracked us like that. This would be titled Walt Disney: A Magical Life, chronicling the life and legacy of Walt's life in his own worlds with a grand finale. Words. With a grand finale of him taking the spotlight in a way never seen before. You like how I did that for a little?
I did.
He would be on stage sharing anecdotes from his life in the setting of his famed office, an office I have been inside.
I have also been there.
And fun fact, everybody, if you don't know, he's actually in his working office, not in the show office.
Mm-hmm.
And
true.
also fun fact, there's a map on the wall behind him in this animatronic show. I've seen that map as if it was
with your own eyes.
with my own eyes. Prior to the opening of the Haunted Mansion, New Orleans Square is chilling, expansion is talking, and Haunted Mansion is there. That's right. What's up?
Do you know what it was titled as?
Of course not.
You don't remember? 1001 Ghosts.
Oh, 1001 Ghosts. Of course I don't remember that. Why would I remember that?
Because we did the Haunted Mansion series and we talked about it.
In one ear, out the other with me usually is like what you usually say.
Oh, so you're finally agreeing.
No, I'm actually not.
You're agreeing to that now.
Oh, no. The animatronic show would take center stage at the Opera House on Main Street specifically for Disneyland's 70th anniversary and debuted on Disneyland's actual 70th birthday on, let's say it now, everybody with me now, July 17th.
Oh, was I supposed to say it with you?
2025. Yes.
You had to go back. Did you page it down too far and you had to go back and
I
wasn't go back to read what year it is?
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to say 1955 or 2025. And I would hate to get something wrong in your magnum opus talking about this show. I'm just kidding, but mostly not kidding. But kidding a little bit.
So what we got at the D23 Expo,
Some
when they announced
concept
this,
art?
yeah, a really cool piece of concept art showing and giving everybody an idea of what we could expect. So we would get the first ever Walt animatronic with a little backdrop of his office, and he would, for the very first time, talk to guests that are visiting his park.
Now, this attraction has been met with eager anticipation. This one over here.
Right here, eager anticipation every single day since they announced it.
And high discourse, all of social media.
Oh, yeah.
Emily, not so much. She was avoiding it like the plague.
Well, I had some discourse as it was approaching the opening. Remember that? We'll probably talk about all this later.
I have no record. I remember.
How I decided to get off of social media, basically, because I couldn't.
Yeah, I remember
deal
that.
with it.
Yeah, I remember that. But so, what's the true story behind this hotly debated
It's on fire.
and divisive decision to bring the company's founder in animatronic form? What's all the controversy even about? Now that we've experienced it multiple times, some of us more than others, but
3 times. I'm the 3-timer club.
Emily, it's not a competition. Now that we experienced multiple times for ourselves, we've done the research. Emily's done the research. I haven't lifted a finger.
You're ready to learn.
Emily, I was slogging away at the office on Thursday, and Emily's texting me, this episode is going to be so good. So I need you to lock in and not do what you're doing right now.
Clayton, come on. No.
We've done, again, Emily's giving me way too much credit and are ready to give all the facts that I can actually do.
You are going to give the facts.
And all our genuine thoughts. Sometimes you might be wondering, man, why does Clayton talk so much on the show? And Emily kind of like, she does all the prep work and then she really likes it when I read stuff and find stuff out in her notes. So that's why I do a lot of the talking.
Oh, I can talk to you if you want me to.
No, it's up to you. It's really, I really feel like you've said
I usually
before.
just stop you as you're talking and add more.
You're like, I don't want to, she doesn't want to co-opt the whole show. She does all the research. She does all the other stuff.
I do that mega nerdy stuff.
And I just sit there editing it.
And you sit there and look pretty while you edit.
And I set up the technical stuff that breaks randomly for some
That's not
unbelievable
so pretty.
reason.
That is not the pretty side.
I do not understand why this one camera is giving us so many fits, but that's neither here nor there. So before we get started, let's take a moment on the why. Even before we had experienced the attraction, we knew, or more like Emily knew, because I probably didn't think about it too much, that we needed to do a deep dive on this attraction. Emily,
somehow having to do with this. I knew from the moment they said it, we've got to cover this. And then as time went on, we kept getting closer. They were nearing the end of completion. I'm like, oh, this is so much happened. And I don't even think you really know about any of it, right?
No, of course not.
So we got to dive into all of it.
There have been rumblings, not a rumbling in my tummy, but just a rumbling of a Walt animatronic show for a while. But I just never thought that Disney would actually do it. I was like, man, Disney would never do that.
My one hope and dream to have a Walt animatronic.
I definitely felt that they would never ever do
Those
that.
are Clayton's sentiments, not mine.
Man, why would they never do a Walt animatronic? What is wrong with them? I mean, they did the partner statue.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We've got points to make at the partner statue later.
Yeah, I get hints about this. Emily's like, okay, I need to pick a what would Walt do quote. And she goes, and she read 5 quotes at me. She's like, now which one would you like to do? And I'm like, I've already forgotten the first 3.
Know. Any of them are fine.
Yeah.
No, I need answers.
So for the average park goer, that's not going to be the thing that drives attendance or profit. And it's honestly a huge risk because there's an insurmountable expectation to meet.
I feel like I'm throwing longer words for you.
Yeah, you're really making this difficult. So when they announced it was actually happening, I really feel like Emily should be reading this.
I should have been reading this. Okay, well, I was in complete shock.
Yes.
Blaine can vouch for this. He was sitting right next to me on the couch. Also, completely overjoyed because I typically follow like Disney rumors. I just like to hear about what might be going on behind the scenes. Now, they're of course rumors, so I don't know how valid they are, but there have been talks very seriously behind the scenes of bringing a Walt animatronic for a long time. And for whatever reason, it never came to be. And because of the rumors, I'm like, I don't know if I don't want to keep hope alive. I don't know if they're ever going to commit to something like that. And they did. And it completely took me by surprise. I couldn't believe it. Best day ever.
Yeah. Emily did what's known in the business as a pro gamer move, where she locked in. She sat up and forward and locked in for that announcement.
Very true.
She was literally in complete shock. So this was still a new project that still takes a large investment. IP is free, but this was entirely devoted to something that we love most.
Oh, we do?
Well, I'm just inserting myself into the statement because you said I love most. I love you most, and you love... Wait a second. Hold on. Did I just read the statements right? You love Disneyland most?
One of the things I love most.
Hold on. Point of order.
It's an error.
Point of order.
Error.
Let's dissect the statement. Hold on. Let's dissect the statement. The thing I love most.
One of the things.
Accidentally,
my fingers forgot to type those
extra
three
words. One of the most. That's like 3 words you forgot.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
I see where I sit in the totem pole.
Okay, one of the things I love.
To be fair,
you want to say a nice thought.
To be fair,
nice thought.
You're angling to get yourself to Disney and now a lot more without me. You're like, go away, I want to do this myself, and then you're like, oh, you can go back to the room. I'm just gonna go do this. Oh, your eyes are bugging you. Why don't you go sleep in the room and I'll do 4 hours in the park without you. What's the deal?
I just like to be in the park. You know that.
Meanwhile,
it's not I want you to leave. I love just being in the park. If I can just sit on a bench on Main Street, I'm happy. I don't have to go on a ride.
Yeah. I remember because you were like,
I imagine myself as like old lady like knitting on Main Street. I'd be completely content.
Mm-hmm. I see where I sit in the grand scheme of things. Let's go back to
this. So this is one of the things you love most, right?
You're going to
say it's because you love me, so now hence you also have come to love it.
Well, let's look at all the facts. I'm the co-host on a Disney podcast.
I would hope you like this. All of our viewers are like, I'm unsubscribing. He's
I do this just to make you
not
happy.
A true fan.
I don't really, whether I'm here or there, what's it matter? It's the same amount of work in my day.
You only do this to make what?
I'm just kidding.
You don't enjoy this?
I'm kidding.
Get out of my show.
All right. I'll exit stage left.
No, don't stay. This is really good stuff.
Yeah. Entirely devoted to, that's one of the things. Is that what it is?
One of the things.
One of the things I love most.
Entirely devoted to one of the things I love most in this world.
Where my passion for this thing that I love most comes from. Again.
Could you agree to this?
What?
This is like the reason why I love Disney so much are things like this when it goes back to the history and to Walt Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the things I get most passionate about. I love the parks for what they are.
Yeah.
And any new attractions I go crazy over. I follow the news. But this is what I live for this kind of stuff.
Apparently, because it's one of the things you love most.
Stop.
I'll just remember this. I'll just remember this when I'm in the kitchen cooking you lunch and dinner.
All right. Sweet. I took time trying to write this.
So and it's entirely devoted to the thing I love most. Oh, sorry. I misread that statement. I'm sorry. Oops. I started from that thing again. Sorry. Where all my passion for this company stems from. The history and the heart behind how and who started this all. Mr. Walt Disney.
Yes, Mr. Walt.
So how is this shindig going to work if we can't agree that we both love the same thing the most?
What?
I don't know. We'll dive into the lead up of this animatronic show. Our short and sweet opinions that won't give anything away in case you're just here for our takes but don't want it spoiled. The effort that went into the creation behind the scenes, details to look out for, and more of an in-depth discussion of our opinions. What we enjoyed, any complaints, where is there room for improvement?
Mm-hmm.
So is it a worthy addition to Disneyland? Did it meet our expectations? So much to cover. So let's get into it. You might be saying to yourself, that's a lot to talk about. Is this a lot? Is this going to be in one episode? And no, it is not.
Absolutely not. there's not enough time for all of it.
So-
But have no fear. Like Clayton mentioned at the very top of the episode, we're only really talking about the lead up to the show. We're not going to be giving any of our thoughts on the actual experience. So you would be completely fine listening to this. This is just to prepare you and to understand why there's so much controversy, where this came from, and give the background.
So criticisms and counting down to opening day.
I've had my Walt animatronic countdown on my wall.
Emily, you remember, like in Dexter's Laboratory, there's that one countdown. I think it was stocking off things off the counter. That's you. Emily was just like, it's going to open soon.
Only this many more days. Only this many more days.
So speaking of there being rumors of a Walt animatronic, I'm not saying this is 100% accurate, but word on the street.
Word on the main street.
Oh, do you have a lot of word on the street? You getting a
word on the main street, Clayton?
Was that there was going to be an update to the Magic Kingdom's Carousel of Progress as part of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, which was, checks notes, 4 years ago. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Really?
I don't like how time works.
That's
scary.
Scary.
That's frightening.
4 years. Ugh. Admit it, you're pretty impressed that I remembered that Magic Kingdom's anniversary was 50th anniversary was 4 years ago. And the only reason why I knew that is because I knew that it opened up in October of 1971 and could do some math in my head.
Good job, Clayton.
Yes. That's a subtle, humble brag.
It's not just because you can do math. You knew October 1971. That's a pretty big detail.
I'm glad you glossed over the fact that I now remember how to do basic arithmetic, considering I was never going to have a calculator in my pocket. And lo and behold, I have a calculator in my pocket. But that's, again, neither here nor there. However, this idea got budget cut. And what's Walt Disney World's lost is Disneyland's gain.
So they were going to add the animatronic to the introduction because you always sit down in that first area with the curtain.
Curtain pops up. You get the voice. This is Mr. Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress.
Yeah, so that was the plan. And I think that'd be a great fit, actually, for an animatronic.
Yeah.
But again, this is all speculation. I don't know if this is really going to happen.
Word on the main street is that it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
I like my joke of Main Street, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Again, this is technically a rumor and never will be confirmed by the mouse. But other things that got cut from the 50th anniversary were the Hatbox Ghost. Apparently, even though it got put there. Is the budget cut that they cheaped it out and just threw it in the endless hallway?
Gosh, Clayton.
And it actually, it really ties that room together. When I think about it, when you pet the Hatbox Ghost, there, it really ties the room together.
I think we take turns on talking about the Hatbox Ghost placement in Magic Kingdom.
I think it really ties the room together.
Clayton's got it this episode. I'll bring it up next episode.
What are your thoughts about that, Emily?
But yeah, so that was the plan. They were going to bring that for the 50th, and that makes sense because it's like, oh, cool, we're adding magic to the mansion. Not a huge D23 announcement.
Not a huge deal. We're just going to put it. We're just going to put it wherever, but
it is a big deal. But put them in the right place.
And they are getting a new finale for Thunder Mountain.
I think so. They've announced some details at this point of what they're doing. They're adding enhancements, and it looks like projection effects to that first uphill where you're in like the cavern.
Right.
That looks really cool. It seems like they're going more into it being a spooky and haunted Thunder Mountain. So I like that. They haven't said anything about the finale. But apparently for the 50th, they also were going to update the finale to match Disneyland's. That also got cut. Again, rumor.
Word on the main street.
Rumor.
My one wish list for Thunder Mountain is they turned down the final mountain. It's so loud in there with the dynamite going off.
Hey, old timer.
My ears hurt. All right, first criticism, the threat of AI.
And this is a very, very real threat these days. So I think this is a fair worry to have. However, we have the facts here to present why this should never have been a worry.
People argued, saying that they can make him say and do whatever they want. The movements aren't his. So Emily, we saw tons of outlandish and clickbaity videos. Just ridiculous things like...
Naturally, you have Walt Disney present and that they're going to do an animatronic. So the easy way is to make it some type of salacious video.
We're so click-driven. They're going to put... just ridiculous things like... they're going to put words in Walt's mouth and like telling people to go buy lightning lanes. They can manipulate it, man. Whatever they want, man. It's gonna be.
Okay, there's a certain point where you're taking this a bit too far out of context.
I'm Walt Disney, and I love a Coca-Cola Classic. Now, make sure to go get that over there at
buy one
Casey's
at the cart
Corner.
outside. Like, they're not gonna do what. Yeah, those kinds of things drive me nuts because it's just. I understand why people are doing it. That will get views, but like that's not doing good for anything.
Yeah,
just make complaints.
It's just clickbaity discourse.
It's unfortunate, and it's not just for Disney things; it's for anything. That's what some channels are devoted to.
Hey, Imagineering was clear from the very start. How it was of the utmost importance that AI had no place in the show, such as this. Every word from this animatronic would be Walt's own worlds, nothing fabricated.
Words.
Words.
Own words.
What did I say?
Worlds.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Nothing fabricated. It was to simply work with what Walt had left us in archival recordings.
Yes. Imagineering was very quick to make this known, to ease everyone's minds that they are only using things Walt had said. He's not going to tell you to go buy a lightning lane.
Yeah, I mean, I understand this one for sure as a criticism. Because
Sure.
you see like some of the what they've done in some movies with like the kind of deepfakey kind of way of injecting those characters when they've since passed. So totally understand the criticism and the
Yeah, I can
concern.
understand the worry, but I think to draw it out more after Imagineering states they're not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that that's what would have happened, but yeah, it's unfortunate. That's basically we seem to be in a zero trust world where people don't trust what people say because, you know, I think in this project, I think it was very clear from the beginning that, well, from where it was coming from, it was 100% a work of love and respect, and
Interesting you say that.
and a way to present a figure that's very important, specifically in Disneyland, that a lot of people don't know, like intimately,
Mhm.
or that he existed. So let's continue because I'm sure we'll be talking about that later.
We will.
Second criticism: differing opinions from the Disney family.
Yes. So this is a very important thing to discuss.
Now let's talk about those of the family that were in favor of this attraction.
Yes. I really felt this was important because I think in a case such as this, we are dealing with someone that was with us in the past, still has family that
Mhm.
are here with us today, that knew him, that grew
Mhm.
up with him. And you want to respect and listen to their opinions. And in a case like this, every single person's opinion is valid and does matter. You can't just dismiss it, especially if they do have that Disney name. But I think it's also important not to just focus on one opinion. You need to look at the whole picture.
Yeah. Did you notice, Emily, that in the museum that was in front of the show, there was a wall that had some Walt's awards? One of those set awards I actually noticed was missing from the Walt Disney Family Museum when we last went. And then when I was looking at it while I was waiting for you, I noticed that that very same
Oh.
award was sitting there. I said, huh, that's normally at the Walt Disney Family Museum. That's right. I am married.
Why did you just think of this right now?
I don't know. It's just how my brain works. Because we're gonna talk about the Walt Disney Family Museum literally right now. While this attraction seemed like a dream project for most diehard Disney fans,
Right here and right over there. Right over
yeah,
there.
oh yeah,
He tries
me
to
too,
play it
me
off
too,
as
me
if
too,
he
yeah,
isn't, but
me
he
too.
is.
It also garnered the support from the likes of those in the Disney family and WDFM, or otherwise known as the Walt Disney Family Museum. In July of 2023, WDI, otherwise known as Walt Disney Imagineering, invited the Walt Disney Family Museum board of directors to check in on the progress of the Walt animatronic. The board includes 5 of Walt's grandchildren and 3 of his great-grandchildren.
Did you know that? So much of the Disney family was on the
No.
board? I knew
No.
some were.
I can't imagine being the great-grandchild of Walt Disney. You've never met your great-grandfather,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even some of his grandchildren never met him because he passed so early on.
Right.
And I can't imagine. I watched you tear up and cry.
Ooh.
I can't imagine what it was like, especially considering what I've heard about how accurate it is to be in that room. But
Very tough.
those that were present were also representative. When you say that,
Representative?
you say representative or representative? Obviously,
Representative?
you just said representative.
You asking which one would you say?
Which way do you say this? Potato or potato? The Walt Disney Family Museum gave their blessing and seal of approval. This is the WDFM 2-finger point of approval. You like that?
Done. Well
like
done.
That?
But yeah, I think this is a very cool detail that they brought them in, invited to see what their thoughts were. We've mentioned, I don't think it's a secret how big a fan of the Walt Disney Family Museum we are. Outside of Disneyland, and probably if you actually go to Walt's hometown, Marceline, Missouri, where they have a museum there and a lot of places that pays tribute to Walt to this day. Like the Walt Disney Family Museum very much has the goal in mind to paint Walt Disney as a real person, not just the Disney-fied version of him where everything's sprinkled with pixie dust. They show the real person, who he was, and try and show some humanity and let you understand more about who he actually was. And we can't recommend enough, but because with that being the goal in mind, the actual purpose behind what they do there to preserve his memory in such a loving way and to invite them to get their takes on everything and the fact it was the family, I think that's a wonderful part of this project.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Walt's grandson and Diane Disney Miller's eldest child, Chris Miller, excuse me, he would be the son of Disney CEO Ron Miller. What?
I didn't say what? I didn't say anything. I just noticed you missed a sentence.
Oh, sorry. Let's rewind. Whoop, 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 whoop. OEC.
What?
I was doing the opposite of CEO.
IDW.
I was doing rewinding because you said I missed a sentence. I could see in your eyes.
IDW.
I could see. I went on to the next statement, and you internally, I saw it in the monitor. Basically, we're like,
what's the order of those letters?
Something is no. You keep talking about the reword. I'm talking about the fact that the look of absolute horror when I skipped a sentence. Will this sentence be the groundbreaking thing of this episode? I don't know. But you would, considering Emily's look.
Well, I worked on it. So yes, I want everything to get read.
So actually, Imagineering worked a lot with the museum and Walt Disney Studios to respectfully pay tribute to Walt as best they possibly could for both the exhibit and the show.
See, that's kind of important, right?
Yeah. Walt's grandson and Diane Disney Miller's eldest child, Chris Miller, said the Imagineering's work to that point was stellar. And that Imagineering was very eager to be as accurate as possible. Excuse me.
Okay over there?
Sorry. As accurate as possible in creating this. He added, we came away confident that this is the right group to take on this important project. I had a funny joke, but I won't say it.
Oh, jeez.
I just thought of something, but I won't say it. I won't ruin your. Walt's granddaughter, Tamara Miller. Also,
Tamara.
Is it Tamara?
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. We believe that our grandfather would have been enthusiastic about the project and fascinated by the advancements of the audio animatronic technology that were first developed during his days at WED, which is now known as WDI, otherwise known as on Main Street as Imagineering.
Hey, Clayton, on the word on Main Street, what does WED stand for?
Walter Elias Disney. It would be his initials.
His nickname?
Yeah. This was a technology that he was always passionate about. Now, during the 2024 D23 Expo, Walt Disney's grandnephew.
Walt Disney's?
There's so many Disney. Roy. Wow, the Roy Disney family side of the family really.
I love that they carried on the name
yeah,
for
they
so
really.
long.
We have Roy E. Well, obviously Roy O, and then we have Roy E, who is his son, and then I guess Roy E had Roy P. And then Roy P is going to have Roy S.
Roy C.
And then Roy C. And then Roy D.
I love this. They have to keep it going.
Roy P. Disney was present for the announcement of the new.
It's the grandnephew.
Yeah. So he would be Roy. I'm assuming he's Roy E. Disney's son.
That's probably, I don't know. I'm not going to say for sure because I don't know.
I don't know how many.
I'm not going to pretend like I know.
I don't know how many children Roy O. Disney had.
I don't know.
I know that Walt Disney had 2 daughters.
We should do an episode covering the family tree.
Roy P. was present for the announcement of the new Walt Animatronic show to show support after he had visited Imagineering to see the figure. Prior to the show's opening, right around when they were getting ready for media previews, 3 generations of Walt and Lillian's family saw Walt Disney: A Magical Life at the Main Street Opera House, saying they were so moved and so touched by it. Kristen Komorowski, executive director of the Walt Disney Family Museum, said the family especially appreciated the inclusion of the film Walt Disney: One Man's Dream, because it tells the story of Walt, the man, that he's more than the brand, anchored here in the park that he created. They were very grateful for it. She continued, the youngest generation, the little ones, who couldn't convince them that
we couldn't convince them.
We couldn't convince them. Sorry that I missed the. Sorry. Emily's like, whoopsh, whoopsh. No, I'm just.
Feel bad now.
I'm kidding. This would be like if we were gonna. I'm only imagining if we were building Disneyland now, I would be the amount of cuts that we'd have to do to fix certain people's gaffes.
I do gaffes too. What are you talking about?
Do you?
Yes.
Do you do gaffes?
I do.
Oh yeah, name one.
I could screw up right now if you want me to.
Yeah, okay. That wouldn't be legitimate gaff. That would be a purposeful gaff. That wouldn't be the same thing.
In support of you gaff.
Yeah. The youngest generation, the little ones, we couldn't convince them that it wasn't a real person, Kristen noted. The family also thought that Walt would have really liked that intersection between art and technology. He would have been very honored.
What do you think about that? The little ones in the family that came to see this, they thought it was a real person.
If I didn't know,
I think that's just so sweet.
Yeah, it's just good feedback.
Yes, these are the kinds of things you want to hear. However, as I kind of was hinting at earlier, not everyone in the family was super thrilled about the announcement of this project.
Yeah, so let's talk about those. Adamantly. A lot of people are seeing.
Blaine, this humanizes you. Not everyone could say every word.
I'm sorry. This humanizes me? Not like literally everything else going on in my life? The 9 to 9 I work is my day job.
Blaring sunburn
blaring sunburn. That, I'm just like any other man. I put my pants on one leg at a time. I don't have a butler to do it for me. What do you mean this humanizes me that I can't say a word? What am I like? Superman over here? What's going on?
We are not perfect in everything we do.
I would hope.
We certainly aren't perfect in everything we do.
That's good to know. It's good to know that some of our listeners are putting me on a pedestal of not.
No, I'm saying people find it funny when we mess.
Yeah, but it humanizes me. That part is the wrong.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. Mostly. However,
I'm sorry. You're like, no, I'm kidding.
However, not everyone was too pleased with the news about Walt Disney being turned into an animatronic. Fairly soon after the announcement, another of Diane Disney Miller's children.
So we had one that's on the board.
Yeah, Chris Miller.
And then this was one of our other children.
Must have been a great Christmas Day get-together in 2024 after they announced it. I can't believe, you're all for this, Chris. What's wrong with you? Joanna, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Let's calm down.
Not everyone agrees with her.
I know.
I know you're making a funny.
I'm making it funny. She spoke out in opposition of this decision. She said, "I am overwhelmed with disgust and anger. Mom would be ready to fight. I think it shows a lack of respect for Grandpa." Now, she's an extremely active member from Walt's side of the family, attending many events at Walt's barn and even helped to complete a period-specific renovation of Uncle Robert Disney's house, where Walt stayed when they first came to Hollywood to pursue his dreams. And I believe I've seen this house.
Mm-hmm.
I was put in the car between two Looney Tunes.
Passionate Disney fans.
Just Taylor Swift playing nonstop.
No, we were listening to old-timey music to get us in the spirit of Walt.
We were listening to old-timey music at that point.
Thematic.
Thematic.
Had to be thematically accurate.
And I'm just like, I'm along for the ride.
But I felt this was really important to note because, she does.
Yes.
Her opinion very much matters just as much as anyone else. She is very active in trying to honor Walt Disney's memory in very important ways.
She started a letter writing campaign to convince the Walt Disney Company to abandon the robot of Grandpa. She felt the robot would be an imposter, that this was insensitive to her mother and her grandfather, and that they were dehumanizing Walt. As a part of her expressing her feelings on the project, she insisted that this animatronic would be against his wishes, citing there had been a long-held rumor that she learned that Grandpa told Sam McKim that he never wanted to be an animatronic. Speaking of Sam McKim,
just thought this would be in case people don't remember who he was.
We've talked about him a lot. He was an Imagineer and he's a Disney legend. As a Disney artist, he created the Disneyland issued maps between 1958 to 1964.
These are the really cool maps. If you saw one, you would recognize it instantly.
He contributed to several classic attractions, including Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, Carousel of Progress, Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Haunted Mansion. And he drew that one picture that we all know and love that sits in the Disneyland Hotel. And I've thought about more than once how I would national treasure that thing out of that building. And I'm still ready to do it. I just need a bag man, a getaway car driver.
Getaway car.
I need a distraction guy. So it's kind of like Ocean's 11, but we'll call it like we'll call it Sullivan's 11, for legal reasons. And then actually let's not call it Sullivan's 11 just for legal reasons, just in case we get caught. We'll call it like McKim's 11 or something. I don't know.
Boy.
I would like this on a poster print, please. It would go literally right here behind me.
Yes.
So Disney.
We would like to purchase it from you, Disney. Can you please offer this to people?
Legitimately. We'd like to purchase it legitimately. Now, let's be very real. I would like to do the Ocean's 11. I mean, McKim's 11's heist. Don't get me wrong. But I'd like to purchase it legitimate. I don't want to go to jail.
I'd also like to just give you my money. That works too.
Does that humanize me that I just want to purchase it instead of try to do like a whole, Ocean's 11 thing? Speaking of Ocean's 11, you want to watch that thing?
Oh boy, not on topic, Clayton.
It's a good movie.
Let's get back.
Yeah.
What do you have any comments about this? So what I saw a lot of.
Now, just so I know, she's the one that's very outspoken about a lot of the things going on with the Disney company, right?
I don't know if it was Joanna. There was another member of the Disney family that was upset about
like how they treat the cast members and stuff like that. I
and
know there's one that's very outspoken about that. You hear her a lot, which is very fair.
Very fair.
Very fair. That's I mean, it's tough. You're not going to have everyone won over. I think it's kind of interesting that one half of the family was so
in favor,
and they all seem very connected in maintaining the legacy of their grandfather or Walt. But they do it in very different ways.
This is a tricky one.
It's a valid criticism for sure.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is wrong in this in feeling how they feel. I'm sure this is put into perspective. Say you've lost a loved one and they were going to be made into an animatronic. I'm sure for some, they may think this is a really wonderful thing because it's going to honor their memory. That's what the fans want. It's going to connect more people to this person who maybe, if there's not enough representation, could get lost. People will forget that this came and started from an actual person, the Disney company. We're I can understand the other side of it. If it's someone that was part of your life, and we're talking about one of Diane Disney Miller's children, where Diane was very much about, she was the founder of the Walt Disney Family Museum. Her big goal was to make sure that people knew who Walt Disney actually was. He was an incredibly important person to her. So on the other hand, I can kind of understand why you would be hesitant about the Disney company trying to now put him in an animatronic form because you want it to be done right if they're going to do that. So I think it's fair to be scared about that and think they're going to do it wrong, or I think that's a very natural opinion to have. So I think why I really wanted to do this and show both sides for the Disney family, what I really saw a lot of on places like YouTube or social media was they would take Joanna's comments, Because again, this is the eye-catching thing. It's less exciting for people to see the headline, Disney family in support of Walt Animatronic. People are more likely to click on the more outrageous a headline of Disney family member disgusted with Walt Animatronic. That's the juicier headline to go with. So that was all I saw. And then I learned about all of this. I'm like, well, hey, that's not the full story. You need to tell the full side of it. It'd be different, I think, if Imagineering went through with this, if all of the Disney family members were vehemently, how do you say it? Vehemently? Vehemently?
I don't know.
Oh,
apparently,
geez.
apparently, I don't know how to say words. I usually say vehemently.
I think that would be a different story. Maybe us as fans, we really need to take a second and think, well, is this the right decision then? And Imagineering probably should have done that too if everyone was against it and felt it wasn't the right decision to make. But that's not the case.
I think we're just like with everything, there's so many viewpoints to look at a thing, and there's always people that are against and always people that are like, that's a cool, jazzy idea. And as a result, it's just like, yeah, your mileage is always going to be, there's always going to be something.
Sure.
So.
This is also not a very black and white project because you need to also look at the work that went in behind the scenes. You need to know what the intent of doing it is as well, which we will get into. But this is one of the big arguments that everyone brings up. Well, Walt Disney didn't want to be turned into an animatronic. This is what Joanna Miller was stating, was that Sam McKim had told Walt this. So one thing I thought would be interesting, because we don't know for sure. There isn't like a Walt quote that I can pull out and say, hey, this is how Walt feels. I can't ask him how he feels about it today. He's not with us. So interestingly enough, we actually have a Blaine Gibson actually lots of thoughts on the idea of a Walt animatronic.
I think a lot of the same discourse occurred when they were going to do the partner statue. Is that not correct?
Yeah, we'll get into all this, yes.
That's right. I knew that.
Like, I know things.
I think we did that episode when we very first started. We did the partner statue.
A Patreon one.
Which
honestly, I think we need a redo of it. It's time to revisit and maybe give it to everybody. No promises, everyone. We have a lot of things to cover.
If you have any concern that we're ever going to go anywhere,
that we're out of ideas,
the only thing that could stop this is my body gives out.
Emily and Clayton, they don't know what to talk about anymore. They don't know what to research. Let me tell you, that day is never going to come. To
be fair, Emily just picks basically everything that we talk about. So I'm just here to spout facts, maybe tell a funny joke. My hit rate, I think, sometimes on some of these episodes is like 1 for 1,000. So. I don't know. Some people enjoy some of the jokes, I think. Some people are like, man, this guy thinks he's too funny, but he's really not.
Clayton.
You know,
I think you're funny. It depends on the type of joke, though. If I'm trying to do a heartfelt thing about Disney and you turn it around.
If you think I'm funny, everything should be funny.
No.
And tasteful.
Do you think I'm funny?
You have your moments.
I'll take it.
Okay. So let's talk Mr. Blaine Gibson, MVP here. Make it magical.
Favorite.
In case you don't know Blaine Gibson, let me give you the 35 to 45 second spiel that will become probably about 4.5 minutes worth of talking.
Where's my timer?
Blaine Gibson, Disney legend, Disney Imagineer, one of the original Disney Imagineers. He wanted to be an artist. He just wanted to make art, and he wanted to be an animator. Mr. Walt Disney said, that's not what you're going to do here. You're going to be my head sculptor.
Sculptor.
I'm trying to bring myself down to our listeners' level.
You're trying to humanize yourself.
I'm trying to humanize myself by incorrectly pronouncing words, Emily.
By not being able to speak
Because I'm
English.
such a wealth of Disney knowledge that I need to humanize myself to the listeners.
To get things wrong also.
Yeah.
I need to butcher words.
You know how many things I get wrong in a day in my day job?
Oh, boy.
An unbelievably amount. Now, Blaine Gibson.
But yes, he would not just be like, oh, he sculpts things every once in a while. No.
He would sculpt it all. You know how they have an animatronic? And an animatronic has a face? Well, that face is sculpted.
An animatronic has a face.
Not all animatronics have faces. Most of them. They're not trying to scare
the... Think about the Spaceship Earth boy? Newspaper boy?
Yeah.
Does he have a face? Does he not?
I don't know.
Why is he facing against that wall?
So much
Who
worse
knows?
when he
Why
doesn't
is he
have a
so
face.
creepy?
I don't know.
Why is it worse when you get stopped right next to him?
Well, I can tell you, extra, read all about it. Extra, read all about it. Now, where was I? That animatronic has a face. That face sculpted and then cast with whatever they make.
Tell us
faces.
all of the steps how to make an animatronic.
First, just sculpt the face. Second, you pour
You do
latex
all the
over
other
it.
stuff.
I don't know.
And then it's moving.
And then it's got to move. It's on a robot face. And you're like, now, where was I?
What was that?
I was doing the robot. You know, whenever they do the animatronic and like the Imagineer story, they do the mouth movements where it's like, they're like demonstrating that it can do all the face movements.
I'm sweating.
Now,
Good.
that face. Now you might be thinking, who did all that? Well, that would be Blaine Gibson. Now you might also be asking yourself, you can ask yourself this question. I've been told that people do actually respond to me. They may have just been.
It's Christian, I think.
Yeah, they may have just been humoring me, but they did make the comment. So
I do like to imagine when we ask a question to the listeners that people yell out the
it's
answer
like
back to us.
Dora the Explorer type
you're
stuff.
welcome.
Right?
You're in on this conversation with us. Everyone is a friend and make it magical.
Yeah. Now, you are probably saying to yourself, because you are also a wealth of Disney knowledge, that Blaine Gibson, to get all those ideas of his faces, he would just stare at random people like the waitress at the diner or Jude at his Sunday congregation. And then Marty Sklar one day would ask him, so Blaine, are you telling me that the pirates and Pirates of the Caribbean are mostly just people that are in your congregation? And he would say to that answer, yes, they are. But Blaine Gibson, he is the sculptor. Again, Emily, I'm trying to humanize myself. He would sculpt every Hall of Presidents president up until
he came back.
He
I
came
think
back,
as a consultant. For Obama.
But probably his most well-known addition to the Disney parks.
Aside from all the pirates and all the ghosts in the Haunted Mansion.
Aside from that, but the one that he should be most known for,
has a very heartfelt connection to the company,
is none other than the partner statue.
You're really building this up. I like it.
Which that sits within not all of the international Disney parks, not all of the Disney parks, but sits within
more than Disneyland.
More than Disneyland. It sits in Magic Kingdom. It sits in Disneyland Paris and Tokyo Disneyland.
Okay, stop. Okay. You know, you're just saying falsehoods.
It's not in Tokyo Disneyland?
In Hong Kong Disney, or wait, you said Tokyo?
Yeah, I said Tokyo.
We haven't visited there. I don't know.
It was in our Patreon episode of this, I'm sure. But yes, he is the man behind the partner statue. So let's talk about where he comes into this picture. We've just taken a bit of a detour there.
Oh, he can give us some more takes on
We
this.
like Blaine Gibson. Again, when we found out he sculpted every animatronic in that Pirates of the Caribbean ride and the Haunted Mansion ride.
That their Haunted Mansion
he
attraction.
became our favorite Imagineer. He has a window. It's actually...
You say you're not a Disney nerd.
It's actually, his window is actually near where this show takes place. It's not above the Opera House.
How fortuitous.
But it's above the hat shop in Disney on that on the same building.
It's to the left of the entrance for the Walt show.
Technically above that hat shop. Same
Blaine,
general building.
I'm so proud of you. Can everyone?
Now,
all our listeners, since you apparently replied us, can we get a round of applause?
Now,
Woo,
Emily.
Yay.
Now, Emily.
Good job.
Little callback. Who do you love most now?
You.
That's right, baby. Disney history.
I love this Disney nerd over
Disney
there.
Disney history or your husband who
I
love
love
and cares and provides for you.
Disney history. That's right.
Are you saying your love upon me is conditional?
No.
But what is interesting is that we have documentation of Blaine Gibson's thoughts when asked in a 1995 interview whether he felt there should be an audio animatronic figure built of Walt. While Blaine is no longer with us, let's see what his thoughts were back then. His response is as follows. There are several reasons why I would be against doing that, and it isn't just the sacred aspect of it. I know that just how crude our medium is relative to the human figure. And again, this is 1995. We're talking about. We've had 30 years of improvements, and audio animatronics have made quite the leap. I mean, have you seen Ah-A-Wah?
It's the shaman of songs. Have you seen Ah-Eh-Wah?
I mean, people know what I'm talking about. I mean, that is when it's working.
I don't think there's ever been a time when we've been and it hasn't been working.
We've never gotten B roll.
We haven't gotten B mode.
B mode,
which is just like a screen. I think they pull out.
They Tiana doesn't. I feel like
Tiana was broken.
She was broken.
The one in the
she
finale.
Was like, she had like frozen. She was like her eyes and mouth were moving, but her body. It was like
it's like someone
they're like in paralysis
took a freeze
and like
ray on her body, but her like eyes were moving.
She's singing and her eyes are moving, but she's frozen in place, and she's like,
"Please help me!
Please help me! Please help me!" You can't get Walt's smile. You can't program that smile that I've gotten on Walt's statues. This is post partner statue.
Yes.
That I've gotten on Walt's statue and have been able to go into that. You'd have to move from a scowl to a smile because Walt at times would get a twisted up expression and one eyebrow will go up.
I do that. I always do my left eyebrow.
I always do my left too.
My right doesn't look right when I do it. Okay, back to Blaine. Enough playing with our eyebrows.
He had a facial range that was absolutely beyond our capability. Lincoln is believable because we have no personal memories or films of his speech and mannerisms. Walt was a man whose movements meant something and his expressions were so lively and enthusiastic. You can't get that with an animatronic figure. The statue to me is of Walt during one of those moments when he'd say, "Let's do it this way."
Now, what are your thoughts on all of this? I think you can immediately look at this. Okay, well, Blaine Gibson, who worked closely with Walt, said he'd never want this to happen because of how crude animatronics are. I feel like you have something to say. Go on.
Yeah, Emily's like, I know what the title of this episode. Blaine Gibson says, the Walt animatronic is an affront to humanity.
The idea of this. Here's my clickbaity title.
It's 1995. I totally understand.
Yeah.
He's saying is we shouldn't do it because our technology just isn't.
It's not there.
It's not going to do him justice. So it's a time of the. It's a time. It's not a quote explicitly saying no. It's a quote saying
not right now.
Not right now because it wouldn't do him justice because we wouldn't be able to get the true form of it. But technology and audio animatronics have light yeared themselves away, and the ability of some of these animatronics to make these facial animations like Ah-Eh-Wah or the Star Wars guy. What's the Star Wars guy?
Star Wars guy.
Yeah, the Star Wars guy.
Which one?
The Millennium Falcon one.
Not Doc. Oh no, I was gonna say Doc Ondar. He owns the shop.
Yeah, it's the other one.
Hondo Inaka.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Hondo Inaka, like the and those are not humans, but
even
like,
with like a lot of the Tokyo Disney animatronics they've been coming out with, yes, those are like based on cartoon characters. Yeah. They've been doing really well with those. The Tiana animatronics.
It's not like they did the face projection animatronic here.
Yeah. He even, I think, which is really interesting, goes on to explain why Lincoln was an acceptable animatronic to do at that time. Because none of us ever knew Lincoln. Yeah. We don't have videos of him that we can match up. So there's no comparison. You'll believe into it a lot easier than if they tried Walt Disney.
And that must be a point we're going to talk about because almost anyone who's been involved with this or is going to watch this has no legitimate connection to Walt Disney himself besides what's been put in documentaries, which is going to be a very microcosm view of the man himself. So it's almost like we've reached a point where that comment has become relevant to our whole decision and discussion. And Emily's looking at me like, you're giving away history and the secrets of what we're going to be talking about. Zip it. You're getting ahead of yourself.
You're just excited. You're thinking in the right way. So I'm proud of you.
You're just proud of me, or am I one of the things you love most?
You're the thing I love most.
One of the thing or the thing you love most?
The thing.
Like how much of a micro edge?
Why is this the focus of this episode?
How much of a micro edge do I have? Like is it even viewable by the human naked eye? How much further ahead of Disney I am? Are we sure? Is it like a big gap or like millimeters, micrometers?
You look so nice in that Walt shirt.
Okay. Third criticism. Before we get started on third and fourth criticism, That's where we're going to end it.
We've made an executive decision of behind the scenes look.
We bit off more than we could chew when we talked about what we were going to do on this episode.
I prepared you as best I could, Clayton. I said there was a lot to cover. This is some good stuff.
So we're going to finish today with the criticisms, and we're going to have now this become a 3-parter probably.
Heck yes. And then you know what? That lines up perfectly because
Trip report.
By the time we're done covering this Walt animatronic, we will have been back from Disneyland, so we can just talk about Disneyland then. Perfect.
Sorry, Pooh.
Oh yeah, we need to finish. Pooh will get there. We'll talk about Pooh, Winnie the Pooh in the parks.
All right, let's talk at the third criticism. Are they monetizing Walt Disney? Are they making him into a character? Now, before we get started in this one.
Ooh, Clayton has some thoughts.
Like, that's literally what a whole microcosm and honestly, it's not monetized.
You're so passionate about this thing.
It is monetization, but he's been a character for a lot of Disney for a long time.
You're getting.
He's become more than just the man that he was. He is a character in a way. He just they don't make him say and do things that he never did, but they utilize him a lot for a very specific purpose. He is a character within the Disney realm. Okay.
I'm really impressed. You're getting ahead of me.
Am I doing well on this episode?
Predicting what I have written.
Am I doing well on this episode?
A+.
Because you really scolded me before we started. I don't want none of this.
No, I just want to make sure you speak
I don't want
your
none
minds.
of this. I don't want none of this. Yep, ditto nonsense.
No. I want to make sure I'm not the only one speaking and giving my takes because yours are very important. You might think of other things. I might not. I want you to feel free to do so.
Oh, so you're saying that you look at your most loved thing in the world with rose tinted glasses, and you look at me with jaded, jaded eyes.
Stop.
Did you like where I was going with that one?
Okay. Are they monetizing Walt,
yes.
making him into a character? Let's answer those questions.
Joanna Miller has expressed that how she felt her grandfather is branded and used by the company every day.
So this was part of when she was showing her disapproval of this animatronic figure. This was part of what she felt personally.
Before we get started, one more thing I want to say. He existed at a time before we have the CEO stuff, and he was involved and at the face of everything the Disney company did. At all times, everything the Disney company did, he was front and present and center. Not some mythical force that did stuff behind a room, front and center. As a result of doing that, this was always going to be the case. I understand her feelings.
She doesn't want the memory of someone that has held such a big position, even to this day, has created this incredible company that's never going to go away at this point. Disney is loved all around the world at this point, and this is someone that she's related to and has a high regard for. So it's understandable to try and protect that as much as you can. You don't want to see someone like that being used in the wrong ways. So I think it's being protective of that.
It's totally fair, totally valid.
I'm trying to remind everyone, we by no means are ever going to say she's wrong for feeling the way she does. It is completely valid to feel the way you do and want to protect that memory of your grandfather. That is fully, no one can take that feeling away from anybody. But also, we're trying to look at this from all aspects. And that's Walt turned himself into a character when he was alive.
He turned himself into a character basically for the purpose of selling the Disney brand to get people to come to the parks, to establish that trust with people. He went on TV. This is going to be the Disneyland TV show. This is what we're going to do. You're going to love it. He basically injected himself into popular culture in a way that some people have self-injected themselves, but he did it from a genuine, caring aspect of injected himself into popular culture. He has become, in a lot of ways, a pop culture icon and centerpiece, and in a lot of ways has created something that a lot of others of these CEOs aspire to, I think, in a negative way. and try to do, but he did it from a genuine place where it was from caring.
He wanted
and
that
yeah.
actual connection with the public.
He legitimately had a connection.
Okay.
So yeah,
we have more on this. I promise. I have a whole paragraph written about this.
Okay, all right. So is it monetizing Walt Disney or turning him into a Disney character of sorts? No to monetization, but he is a character of sorts.
And we'll get more into the monetization aspect again, because I'm making all these points because these are criticism that I saw, and it drove me nuts that only one side of the argument was trying to be spun like this is some horrible thing, and that's all there is to it. Oh, they're trying to get more money because of Walt and profit off of Walt, and they're making him into a character. Like, it's all turned into this thing that's meant to rile people up like me, which it does. But it makes me retaliate. I'm going to cover everything. I'm not going to be biased and only say the great things. I want to look at everything because I think that's the most important when it comes to no matter what you're doing. You need to see every side of it.
Well, let's see this side. So where is Walt used as a tribute? Well, let's think about it. The partner statue, Walt's Restaurant, One Man's Dream.
Oh, so Walt's Restaurant, this is the restaurant in Disneyland Paris, completely devoted to Walt Disney. There's like pictures of him and his family. That is the theme of the entire restaurant, Walt Disney.
Walt Disney. Walt Disney presents Walt and Roy's on the Disney Wish. Imaginary Story.
There's
I could go on and on.
Well, and even in places like Hong Kong Disney, even to this day, they have a new Walt statue in their Fantasyland with him sitting with Mickey. We have the Epcot the Dreamer statue with Walt where you can sit with him. We don't need to give every single example. You don't have to rack your brain. These are just examples where it's not as if this is the only thing that's putting Walt front and center. I've heard the argument too of with the partner statue, you can almost look at it as he's like on a pedestal almost overlooking everybody. It's less approachable in that way.
I have a parallel. Here. There's some companies in the general industry, a lot of industries that are named after people. Ford is the only one that comes to mind at this time.
Hershey's.
Heinz.
A lot of them are named after the family.
They've existed for a long time. Now, people kind of know who Henry Ford is, but if I asked you to paint a mental picture of Henry Ford, could you do that? If I asked you who the first Hershey was, that sort of Hershey chocolate, could you do that? No.
You don't associate Hershey's with a person.
Right.
It's just chocolate bars.
Yeah. And let me, they're not great chocolate bars, but that's a different story. So my point of this is that at least the Disney company is trying. Now, to some extent, yes, they might be utilizing, and that might be a valid criticism and how, but almost every use of Walt in the parks, on the cruise ships, anywhere, is done with an affection and care that is always the antithesis of what a lot of these criticisms were about. I'll just leave it there.
Did you just do a mic drop? You did like a very silent moment.
I was letting it hit.
All right. The point is, he's used in a lot of ways. This
criticism is really getting to me, apparently.
Apparently, this really struck a chord with you.
So even Walt knew how important it was for his name to be front and center and have a face to go with the company to make it more human and personable. He became this sort of character, Uncle Walt, for television.
What people basically called him Uncle Walt. He had this persona on TV to be friendly, approachable. He's synonymous with the Disney company name, with Disneyland. You know it's coming from him. So again, it's humanizing it. It's getting a personal connection to the public. He wanted that. He knew how important that was rather than just slapping Disney characters in front of your face. He knew he needed to be the person in front of everybody to establish that type of relationship, that warm relationship with people who are going to come and support his company.
Yeah. He was an actual human being, basically, to these people. He wasn't some mythical, like, celebrity. He was Walt Disney. He might as well have been their best friend. You know, you could walk him into the park and you could walk into him and he would ask you how your day was going. And none of this hubbub, that we have in the kind of celebrity culture these days. And it was he basically made Disney a very inviting and approachable when he was the actual human being you could form a connection with. And So as a result of that, that is carried on. So it humanized the Disney company and made them feel more personable to the public. The reality was that Walt was a huge draw whenever he walked around Disneyland, and he carried pre-autographed cards to hand out to any guest that wanted something signed. He was an attraction at Disneyland when he was still alive. He was an attraction all to himself.
People would look for him. He would draw a crowd when he would be around because everyone wanted to talk to Walt Disney. Because he established, I'm approachable, I care about my guests, and very much, even we've talked about it briefly on the show before, Walt Disney cared so much about Disneyland. It's not as if, all right, it's built, I'm going to go back to the studio and do my own thing. Let's see how it does. I don't really care anymore. It's making money. No. He was all about, I'm going to walk around my park. I'm going to wait in line with the guests. I'm going to listen to the complaints. I'm going to act like I'm a guest with everyone else. Like, I think sometimes he would try and not disguise himself, but would try not to draw attention to himself because he was still very modest and humble. He would be like, hey, here I am. But if people wanted to say hi to him, he would take the time to do so. He would learn people's names. He cared so much that even though Disneyland was a success, he still was trying to make it better for the people that paid money to go to this place that was so special to him. That was one of his biggest dreams realized. And he wanted to keep making it better, keep making it a place they could come to, and have him as a face that was attached to it because it was a thing. It was his product. It was what he created. He wanted to be, you couldn't have Disneyland without Walt Disney. They're paired together. They can't be separated.
What she said.
That's better than just, yep.
So fourth and final criticism. What would Walt himself actually think? So
this is where it gets interesting.
Unfortunately, we can't go ask him what he would think. And Imagineering has since stated that they found no record of him saying he never wanted to be an audio animatronic himself. Jeff Shaver Moskowitz from WDI said, in all our research, we never found any documentation of Walt saying that he never wanted to be an animatronic. We know it's anecdotal and we can't speak to what was told to people in private, and we can't speak to Joanna's feelings about the project. We worked very diligently for many years with the Walt Disney Family Museum and members of the Disney Miller family with the board, and
slow to take a breath.
So we've taken care to ensure that the family is along for the journey with us. We feel that we've presented a faithful, we possessed him with the legitimate.
Okay.
We feel that we presented a faithful and theatrical presentation that keeps Walt alive in the medium that he pioneered, and in a way that we present that
and
we present,
and in the way that we present stories in our parks.
Is that humanizing me?
Essentially a life raft.
Yeah, is that humanizing me? Just for the sake of looking at Disney history and what's been documented in the past, let's take a look at Blaine Gibson's involvement in sculpting Walt previously for further perspective.
Perspective. Do you need to start talking? Is your brain okay?
It's really gotten
getting
hot.
warm.
It's gotten really hot in here.
I'm sweating. I'm not kidding.
It was cold when we turned on here, and now
that's because the passion is just radiating,
I'm radiating
in this
heat
room.
because I'm talking about the second favorite thing in my life.
This is what I wanted.
I'm talking about the second favorite thing in my life.
Walt.
My wife. The first thing I love in my life.
Walt Disney's your
Walt
favorite?
Disney. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow. You're just gonna take it like that? Jeez. In 1962, at the urging of his wed supervisor, Richard Dick Irvine, Blaine Gibson sculpted a bust of Walt as a thank you gift for Walt. Blaine recounted the moment that he revealed and handed over the finished sculpture to Walt, and Walt's immediate reaction was, "What am I going to do with this? Statues are for dead people."
I think this is the funniest response.
What am I going to do with this, man?
I do think it's important. It gives you an idea of how Walt Disney was about these kinds of things. Like, what am I going to do with a bust of myself? It's not always like, oh yeah, let's display this.
People are going to think I'm very vain.
Face. Yeah. Like, he didn't want that.
He's like, haven't you ever heard the story of Narcissus and how he fell asleep at the river looking at a picture of himself in the river? We're going to think I'm a narcissist. Come on, Blaine. And Blaine's like, talk to Dick, man. I didn't do this. He told me to do this.
His idea.
Yeah, man. I'm just the figure. I just made it.
I'm just the sculptor.
I'm just the sculptor. Yeah, I'm just the sculptor.
Or sculptor.
Talk to Irvine, man. He was the one who did it. Years after Walt's death, Gibson worked on a California Institute of the Arts. I was going to say Cal Arts. I was gonna say CalArts, and
CalArts is the shortened form.
I know.
That's the cool way to say
and I
it.
was I was thinking of people that are actually listening to this who don't know that CalArts is the California Institute of the Arts.
Like,
but my brain switched in the middle of the statement.
Do you know how to pronounce the state we live in?
California. You're not saying it right. It's
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
No, you're not saying it right, Emily. It's California.
California.
So at CalArts,
or California Institute of the Arts.
Slowly losing my mind. He worked on a memorial medal that featured a headshot of Walt. Walt's widow Lillian told him at the time that she didn't ever want a bust or portrait or a statue of Walt to be done. However, since this was to raise money for the Institute that was present a personal favorite project of Walt, she reluctantly approved.
I just thought this was super interesting. We have Lillian Disney, was the wife of Walt.
Yeah.
And she very much said she did not want anything like this, a statue. And I'm sure the reasons behind that could have been it's not going to take the place of Walt.
Mm-hmm.
You can never build something that's going to give you the feeling of actually being in a room with him. You can't recreate that presence. But because of the intent behind why something like this was created, then she changed her mind.
Mm-hmm. So let's keep those sentiments in mind with this next bit. Just 2 decades after this, or just 2 decades after the passing of Walt Disney, the company, and in particular, we believe, because I do believe it was Marty Sklar specifically.
I think it was.
Who worked very closely with Walt. Did you know, Emily, that Marty Sklar started with the Disneyland newspaper and that at one point he became personal speechwriter of Walt Disney and then would become the head of Walt Disney Imagineering and then would become a Disney legend?
It's making me so happy.
I used to be a totally normal human being.
Everyone in the comments, tell Clayton just how proud you are of him. Wow, Clayton, you just know so much.
Yeah, I just know so much.
All right, so why are we mentioning Marty Sklar?
Well, it was Marty Sklar's idea because he had felt that the public and the Disney park goers were forgetting who Walt Disney was.
They were more looking at Disney as just the name of the company, not as a person who actually founded the company.
Yeah, so we're talking 1980-ish time frame.
Like when this idea was starting to come about, wherein Michael Eisner times at this point, they were doing a lot of kooky things in Disneyland on Main Street at this point. So no partner statue. They were putting crazy things like a Ferris wheel.
The ball of, didn't they do the ball of death or something?
Yeah. We got to talk more about that someday. I only briefly learned about that. They were doing things that you would never expect in Disneyland to this day. And it was blocking the castle. This thing that's an icon. And that was kind of what planted this idea in Marty Sklar's head. We need to stop this. And I'm now realizing people don't really know and are slowly beginning to forget who Walt Disney was.
Well, you have to think about it, right? Like, he's been gone for 2 decades.
Yeah.
A whole generation of children grew up watching him on TV, going to Disneyland. They had children. Those children, no idea.
Yeah. Unless there's things in the park to let you know who he was. How else would you? Unless the parents go out of their way to teach their children about Walt Disney, they won't know.
Like, you think that Mike for Stranger Things knows who Walt Disney is? Come on now. He doesn't know that.
It's interesting you're bringing Stranger Things into this. You know what? I don't know what season it is, but in Stranger Things, there's like a Figment plush in the background in some scene.
Emily's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Also a movie you need to rewatch. When he does the meme where he does the point, like, oh,
Figment, oh my man.
Examples of other forgotten innovative businessmen were shared. Henry Ford, the Hershey guy, the Heinz guy, including how people might. Oh, look, we figured out the name of Milton Hershey.
Hey, look at that.
Hey, look at this.
Past me set us up for greatness. We're here. We here.
Hey, I brought the Hershey guy up all by myself. I'll have you know. Examples of other forgotten.
Simpatico.
Yeah. It's almost like we live together, and almost like
we're married.
Almost like you're my most loved thing, and I'm not yours.
You're the worst.
What are you talking about?
I am dying of heat.
It's so hot here.
Oh, okay.
Emily was concerned at the beginning of this episode that the energy wasn't right, but we've hit a new high.
Kooky level.
It might be because it's 1,000 degrees in this room.
I'm in a literal sauna.
But
that is why.
We'll find out here in a minute.
Where were we?
Hershey's. I have no idea.
Okay.
Examples of other forgotten innovative business were shared, including how people might enjoy eating a Hershey chocolate bar. I don't, but had no idea there was a man named Milton Hershey to thank for their enjoyment.
Absolutely. And this is very much, I mean, with a lot of, we already talked about this.
Henry Ford.
This goes on. And even with a place like the Disney parks, you do have people you can associate with them. Most people know the name Walt Disney. Even if you're not a big Disney fan, you know that name. Or you look at, I'm just going to do it. The easy example is looking at the Universal parks. We don't have one person that we can have it go hand in hand. That was the start of all this. That was never part of it. Where with Disney going from Walt onward, like I think Michael Eisner was probably the CEO that brought this back. He very much emulated Walt Disney's energy in that he wanted to have a face to go with the company. He was on TV. People knew who Michael Eisner was and that he was the head of Disney.
Michael Eisner gets a lot of guff.
We need to do a Michael Eisner deep dive.
A lot of things that happened towards the end of his tenure, which I think is not a secret that there's a number of reasons why those things happened. But the man knew certain parts of business. He certainly knew how to turn this company around.
Yeah.
You need to put some respect on Michael Eisner's
not
name.
all good things.
No.
Remember, we just tried to tell the whole truth. And even now with Bob Iger, a lot of people who know who Bob Iger is. Yeah. But, for again, I'm just going to point at Universal because they're direct competitors.
Yeah.
We don't have that person where everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's the person that I can look at who's doing all the Universal Park stuff.
Because they're owned by NBC Universal.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, I know. Now, so this is how the idea to create the partner statue was conceived and presented. This was a way to spotlight and honor Walt Disney so that he would never be forgotten to newer generations. It would be unveiled in 1993.
I love that my entire life has had the partner statue.
And remain an iconic part of Disneyland. Well, did you know, Emily, when it was unveiled that they wheeled out a piano in there and they played To the Birds?
Okay, I might want to do partner statue revisit.
Oh,
don't give away the whole story.
Like people are going to not listen to us if we talk about the partner. You know what? He already said that they did To the Birds.
I can't listen to this again.
That the Sherman Brothers came out to play it. The Sherman Brothers came out to play it on the piano and said, hey, it's To the Birds, which was his favorite song, which sometimes on Friday night, he would go up to his office, the show office, pour himself a scotch, and he would just say to the Sherman Brothers, play it, while he would look longingly out the window.
We looked at that piano too shortly after Richard Sherman's passing.
Yeah, and they played the song
Feed the Birds.
And there was the little animatronic bird in the cage that was which is like, it comes around because that was the inspiration for animatronics, and now here we are, and I'm blah, blah, blah.
And then we looked, as we're listening to Feed the Birds, looking at the piano, we turn our heads, and there's that window that Walt would always stare out at.
Yeah, and there was not a tear in my eye at all. I was steely-eyed missile man.
All right. If you have some extra money, you want to do some Disney thing, use that to go visit the Disney studios. So worth the money.
It is
a fantastic experience.
Tremendous experience that is definitely worth it. Specifically to sit in that office. Well, not sit, but stand in that office.
They're not going to let you sit.
I know, yeah.
They do give you enough time, though, I feel, and I would gladly would take more. But you do get an opportunity to have a quiet moment. Because it is very heavy as soon as you walk in there.
So,
anyways,
where were we? What are we talking about?
Anywho.
What's my name again? So what does this all even mean? We can't really speak for Walt. We can't take away or dismiss the validity of other opinions on how this figure makes them feel. We truly don't know what Walt would think of this because there was only one Walt Disney. We don't know what Walt would think of this.
I feel like that was supposed to be deleted.
I'm Ron Burgundy. I just read the teleprompter. You see what I have to deal with. I was like reading through this. I'm like, this is a question? What's going on? All we can do is form our own opinions. Go see it for ourselves and look inside to see how it makes each of us feel. What we're left with is to look at what Walt did and what he thought was right in his own career. That's something we'll take a closer look at later in the next episode.
I had in this episode. That was ambitious.
That was very ambitious.
That is next week's
We
episode.
spent 90 minutes talking about 4 criticism points.
Of course. To give a little look ahead in case
Did
you're
I do
curious.
good, though?
You did a great job. Put it right here, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad for being your second favorite love.
Stop. Knock it off.
Never.
What I was going to say before Clayton's antics got out of control right next to me.
I'm Fitzing over here. Can we?
as we clearly cannot say how Walt would feel to this day. We cannot ask him. No one knows. No one can speak for him.
Don't know.
However, we can look at what was done previously when he was alive and what he felt was right.
Yeah.
Little look ahead. We are going to start talking about a Lincoln, what was in the Opera House before Walt Disney A Magical Life premiered, and will still be there. And you can see it in the future at some point. So we're going to go back in time and look all at Lincoln. Actually, is that what we're talking about next week?
Yes.
We'll get to it at some point in next week's episode, I promise.
Okay. We thank you for sitting around, if you made it this far, to our antics
maybe
today.
you're sweating with us. I don't know.
Yeah, turn up the heat.
I sure am.
Turn up the heat on your AC if you really want to make a magical experience today. Yeah, so thank you for sitting around. This has evolved into a much longer...
Devolved.
Devolved. We had a lot more that we were planning to talk about today. I don't know why we would think that would have been any different.
I don't know why we think this would be speedy.
Yeah, I have no idea.
We're talking about Walt, of course. We can't speed right through it. What's also funny is you've had this full water sitting across from you. And you have not taken a sip as you're like saying how hot you are.
Well, I have to open it and it's going to psst, so I don't want to put this sound on the mic. I thought we would have a break at some point. But yeah, so we want to thank you again. If you're on the YouTube side, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Now's the good time to follow us on Instagram at Make a Magical Pod. We'll be in the parks in 2 weeks. I think checks notes. I don't know.
Soon. We'll be running a race. So I think when we do our trip recap, it'll mostly be about what those Run Disney races are like.
There won't be. This will be the second to last Run Disney run in Disneyland for the foreseeable future.
Sad.
So yeah, we'll do race recap mostly because a lot of what we were going to be experiencing in the parks will pretty much have been.
We might have some. Yeah. I mean, you never know. There might be some fun things to share. We'll be experiencing all the fun Halloween offerings, so we might have. We'll probably have a little bit of that too.
Yeah, of course. Otherwise, yeah, if you want to get your Walt tee. Speaking of Walt and putting his face on stuff, if you want a Walt sunglass tee, this one's really good. I do like the thicker material of this dark gray one.
Interesting.
Very thick shirt. If you want that, head on over to Park Hop Tees. Use our code
MagicalPod20, all caps.
Save some money and support the show while you do that.
And also a really great way, since we're having so many camera difficulties, as Clayton was saying, we're not perfect. This is not our full-time job. So if you would like to support the show monetarily, you can always join us over I can't see. I screw up. I can't talk.
Yeah, you're
Patreon.
What you need to.
I was trying to say Patreon. If you want to go support us over there while also getting some fun bonus content, that's a great way to do so.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be back.
I got you. It's contagious.
We'll be back next week. So I think with that, Emily,
remember to be kind to each other and let's.
Sorry.
What is happening?
I feel like I have to sneeze. All right. Let's make it magical.
Oh, what a great send off.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.